Hello, beautiful people. So we are here in these last few minutes and few days of Taurus season. The sun will move into Gemini on May 20th, and then the sun and the moon will meet on May 30th. And I do personally, as my practice in astrology, I feel the seasons actually begin on the new moon. And so my focus tends to be within this wholeness or this integration of the solar and lunar energies within ourselves, outside of ourselves, and just how we, live this experience here on earth. And so I want to reflect on just what has come forth for me personally with Taurus season. And so I did a video previously on the seasonal intentions and even reflecting as far back as December solstice of 2020 and how that has really influenced where we are now and where we are going. And as of this year, 2022, the focus has definitely been alignment and harmony. And so it would only make sense just naturally how I have had this focus on the solar and lunar energies. I feel that it is also the balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within this experience here on earth. And so we see that in our own personal experience, and we can also see it within our divine counterparts connections for those of us who have that experience as well, which again can be something that is happening for you personally within those two aspects of yourself. And so as we've been moving through this year, I have really set with intentions in regard to the zodiacal archetypes, that being starting the year with Aquarius, and then, or starting the year, I guess, with Capricorn even, then Aquarius, and then Pisces, and then we moved into Aries. And so for Taurus, to bring it into this moment, the seasonal intention here is to learn and to understand or even ask, right? When it comes to the intention overall of embodying your divine self, or really living in your purpose, I would say even more so. And by living in your purpose, you are living as your divine self and in a high vibration. And so for Taurus season, the intention has been, and the question has been, what is it that my divine self, or what is it that I need to, in order to sustain the high vibration, to live within the vibration of my divine self? You can think of it as your higher self, your God self, your I am presence. And so I want to share with you what came through for me. And so naturally, what I call the essentials has connected to the four elements, right? And we're dealing with Taurus. Taurus is very, very connected to the earth. Taurus is a sensual experience, an essential archetype. And what it really comes down to with Taurus, and we know Venus has rulership with Taurus, it is about your values. What is it that you value? What is important? What is essential? What do you need to survive? And, we will correlate the concept of money, and we will correlate beauty and things of that nature to Taurus. But again, it really comes down to the basics of what is essential for our survival. And so in the modern world, we have a collective belief that having a lot of money is essential in order to survive, right? And so you can see the way that correlation of values really influences how we feel safe and secure, and we're able to sustain a healthy, connected life here on earth. And so for me, I'm just going to walk through just briefly my experiences here with and what my essentials are in regards to these elements. But what's really been coming through as we move forward, and something that I'm really taking into account from the archetype of Taurus, is slowing things down and really even breathing, right? Breathing slowly, taking your time throughout the day, making sure you take time to ground yourself and connect back with your own source of peace and connect with nature. And usually those go hand in hand. And so that has been a really big lesson for me personally when it comes to Taurus season, is just really moving slowly and taking your time, and also just being very present with what you're doing. Like, I've really been taking time to clean my house, to nurture my plants, to give them fresh soil, and, you know, make sure everything's kind of spread out so they can have their own air and their own light, you know, moving plants outside and so forth. And I've just been taking my time with it, not feeling like I have to do it all in one day and then move on to the next thing. So that's been a big thing. And so as we're moving forward through time, we are already in this new field of awareness. Our consciousness is expanding more and more every day. And as I said before, which is a teaching from the Hathors, and my personal connection is that every day or daily life is the initiation. And so as I was reading the Hathor material, which is this amazing book here, I freaking love this book. I've been reading it, just taking my time for a couple months now. And so some of this that I'm talking about is coming from what I've read here and what I've practiced in my own life. And so what is really, now I kind of lost my train of thought because my cat is trying to get in and I don't want to get up to let her in. So give me a second here. And I totally lost my train of thought, but I know it will come back to me. Oh yes, every day the daily life is initiation. And so they were saying back in, you know, ancient Egyptian times, when they were having their spiritual awakening or developing a closer and deeper connection with the divine, within this experience as a human, they would go to temples, right, to go through their initiation. And what the Hathors were saying in their book is that, okay, I'm gonna have to let her in. It's like I can't talk about ancient Egypt without my cat being present. Okay, come on. All right, so so the daily life is initiation. The experiences, the choices that we make are really important to stepping into a higher yet deeper level or state of existence here on earth. So with that in mind, now that we're in this new field of awareness, right? This like our consciousness is continuing to expand and our connection with spirit is continuing to deepen. And that's really even spirit within. It's like we feel our bodies also have to calibrate, and it's taking some time, right? So this is why these 4 essentials are essential. This is why this is really important, because, you know, we have to take care not to panic, not to worry, not to be anxious about even what we're feeling and even what we're seeing, because we're going to feel and see the extremes within our environments because everything is changing. And a lot of us have attachments, emotional attachments within our body to the old states of being or that old life, essentially, even though we want to move forward and we want to evolve and expand and create these like legacies and intentional community, there is still naturally an attachment to the past or to just the past, the certain things, the comforts, the false comforts, because, you know, we don't really know where we're going, what's going to come forth. And so we'll see that within ourselves. So again, we want to take care to really be present with the moment. And sorry, I'm trying to read my notes as I'm saying this. And the process is to really just take your time and take it slow and understand that you can bring whatever it is that you want to bring from the past. We have the choice to choose what we want to bring into this, where we're moving forward to, and we have the choice to release what we don't want to, right? And so that could be relationship, that can be belief systems, or just ways of being. We have a choice, all right? And so the 4 essentials are, and they correlate to the elements. The first one is, of course, the breath. This is the element of air. And essentially what I have been doing, I've noticed myself, like, and I need to do it right now, is just taking in really deep breaths, really deep intentional breaths, especially when I feel myself getting tense or anxious or stressed or worried. I have been really good at catching myself in the moment and not judging myself. I think that is key. Not judging yourself for feeling the way you do, and just catch yourself in those moments. The awareness is everything. And then taking that intentional breath. And so we want to breathe between every moment. And by doing this, our actions will become intentional. We will move intentionally with grace. So that first one that's been really big for me is the breath, right? And these are things we already know, but it's always good to talk about them and to bring awareness and focus to them. So secondly, the next essential here is Ka. And so Ka is the ancient Egyptian word, or word, right? For life force energy, for what we call chi, what I feel is spirit. This correlates to the fire element, just that spirit, that life force energy that flows through our pranic tube, right? That flows through our energy centers. And we want to take care to keep that high, because this is really important for vitality. This is really important to keep us in a state of vibration that is high, and to be able to really vibrate within or connect to that divine inspiration, and to really be able to show up and be creative and be inspirational, and just to live and do and create within our purpose. And so we want to keep the Ka high in order to accelerate upward into higher states of consciousness. And this will help, us to really not get caught in the resistance and the emotional attachments when it comes to really moving into these higher states of consciousness as we begin to shift with the planet. And so the next essential here is going to be nature. And this correlates to earth, right? And so for me personally, let me just go back to Ka. What I've been doing with the Ka is definitely just, again, with the breathing, and these are all connected, but I've been really intentional with my breath. And as I'm breathing in, when I do have the awareness, I am breathing it in through my crown and through, through all my chakras, and letting that cycle through. That is something that I've been really intentional about, as far as like activating or keeping that Ka high. I've definitely been very mindful about what I've been eating. I've been eating a little bit lighter, not always, but drinking a lot of water, which I'll talk about. But definitely eating lighter and being very intentional of what I am taking into my body. And so being as clean and as just eating lighter foods and clean foods has been really important to keep that Ka or life force energy high. So the next one is nature again, and that correlates to earth. And so nature has been, really important, because for me, it's like I've been stuck in the house all winter season with my toddler, and it's been a lot. So as soon as the nice weather came, I'm like, I'm getting outside. We're going on walks every day. We're going to go drive to like parks and things in that nature. I have extra bird feeders out in front of my house. I've been watching the birds. Like for some reason, this particular spring, I've really been listening to the bird song and listening to them chatter and watching what they do and just seeing them in the air. I'm always seeing like the crows and, just all the birds, been really paying attention to birds, but just really connecting with nature. And so that is the third essential, is that connection to nature, which is earth. And so we want to listen, touch, smell, see, and taste, engage all the senses with the essence of earth to restore humanity. So I've been like connecting with trees. Right now I'm going to search for an oak tree. I like really am craving to connect with an oak tree, and I found a little one, but I want an old one. So I'm like, we got tons of maples. We have birches. I love birch. I love maple. A couple years ago it was cedar, and then this year I'm just like, I want an oak tree. There's like a ritual that I want to do, and I need some oak tree leaves and some bark. So I am on the hunt for that, and I'm putting that intention out there. So I'll definitely let you guys know when I find one. But that is what we want to take care to do, is to centrally engage with the essence of earth. And this will restore humanity. And it doesn't have to be like, I'm not necessarily saying humanity on a big scale, like bringing everyone together, but more so restoring your experience your concept of what it means to be human and be connected with Earth in this particular experience, in this form or state of being. So I think, oh my gosh, I just saw 1444 on my timestamp. So I just love that. Okay. So that is the Earth. And then finally, of course, you all guessed it, water. Water is, well, I don't know if you guessed it, but it was an easy one. Water is so intentional or essential. I have been intentional with water because I haven't really been eating as much lately, and I have been making myself, or not making myself, but I've caught myself in moments where I'm like feeling weird about that. I'm like, oh, I need to be eating more, and it's just like, you know, or I might feel a little bit like tired, and I'm just like, you know what, I just need to down some water. Like that water will hydrate me, will give me energy, will cleanse me, purify. I'm thinking of, you know, when I'm dehydrated and I'm drinking a lot of water, I feel hydrated. I feel nourished in that sense. I feel moistened. Like my eyes right now, I need to drink some more water because my eyes feel dry. But I've been in awareness of that. But then also when you're drinking a lot of water, that's another way I've been really connecting with the Ka and like letting that flow through. Is like when I'm drinking water, I literally feel, when I'm intentional about it, it's not always, but when I'm thinking about it, I feel and visualize the water going through my energy centers, going through my body, and just like nourishing and cleansing, purifying that, right? So it's everything is coming through and coming out of me, like via, you know, going to the bathroom. But it's like, it's just like the cycle of it is beautiful. And so water is absolutely essential. And so we want to take in water with appreciation for nourishment and purification. So those are the 4 essentials. And this is what I have learned that is very necessary and essential in order for me to sustain a high vibration, to embody, to be in the vibration of my highest divine self. And I do, every time I say higher self, I get this like weird feeling because it feels like a hierarchy where it's like, oh, well, I'm like my lower self and I'm not at that vibration. And it's not necessarily a hierarchy thing. It's just more so like, I want to say my divine presence at my fullest potential, right? And it's okay to not be there, because when you're in a, you know, your lower self, or not in that high vibration, you have that experience, and it gives you that insight of, you know, what is necessary in order to, like, you're getting that contrast to help you evolve more or expand more. And when you step back into that vibration, you are able to show up in the way that, you know, for me, I'm showing up in this way of my divine self and communicating with you all via, you know, this video. And so it's really essential to just honor all aspects of self. But again, in order to, you know, really show up and create and be an inspiration and engage, we want to begin to step into this higher vibration so that we are evolving with the planet. Okay, so that is my my experience. I'm really curious to hear your experience, if these resonate with you, if you had your own reflections on what your divine self needs for nourishment, or what you need to sustain that connection and that embodiment of your most divine self. So thank you so much for watching. And of course, thank you so much for your support. Please like the video, please share. Also, thank you so much for your donations, as well as if you are interested in a reading. You all know I do astrology readings, tarot readings. If you want to gain a little bit more insight of the cosmic energy that you are working with, essentially, we could definitely set up a time and connect that way. Just send me a message or comment on the video below. But thank you so much again, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.